Hey Mike, how are you tonight? Good. Last game, no Keon Ellis. Is there a game plan to get him into the rotation? Is the reason why he goes from starting during preseason to out of the rotation at this point, or what's going on with that situation?
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it, if you guys remember, he started starting because Kevin got hurt, so he was not technically a starter last year, and you know, Kevin, with him being healthy, he got the spot back, and you know, he's got to fight to hold on to it, but you know, I have a pretty good feel now of what I have. Against the Lakers, one of the things we wanted to try to do, and we try to do it all the time, is to play extremely fast. And Jordan is really good with the basketball, especially in the speed game. And so giving Jordan a crack at it before Keon was the thought process, just because we want to play fast. And if you think about, you know, the rotation, there's only so many minutes. You know, if I don't play Alex, we're going to be really, really small, which isn't the end of the world. If I don't play Trey, we're going to be really, really small. I'm going to play Malik off the bench right there. That's 8. And then I probably can play one more guy. And if I'm lucky, I might be able to play another one. And especially that's the case until I get the minutes figured out. As you saw in game 1, I think DeMar had 43 and Keegan had 41, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's not what they need to average this year. They were better in the Laker game, the minutes, but it's still a little too high. If I can keep Domas, Fox, Keegan at around 35 to 36, and then it'd be great to keep DeMar at around 34 to 35. That's ideal. Can I get there? I hope I can get there sooner than later, but I definitely don't want to exceed 36 minutes unless I absolutely have to for any of those guys.
Mike, is that to say then that right now there's just Keon's not going to be in the rotation right now, or could it be situational depending on matchups and you know what you want to do at certain positions?
I think it's going to be situational because, you know, like I said, the situation last game against the Lakers, I felt, was we wanted to try to turn it into a track meet. And but you also saw that I think I put Jordan at the table 3 times. I pulled him back 3 times. You know, so a little bit better where we are, but still some figuring out. And you know, like I said, it's about a minute's crunch more than anything else. And second, it's a situation thing.
Mike, you mentioned you want to get those minutes lower for some of those key guys.
Yeah.
What are the challenges in doing so for you?
Well, one thing is if we have a group out there that's rolling, you know, I've always tried to let a group roll, but then because I'm still feeling all these guys out, the team, if I let them roll, I got to be able to adjust quicker on the backside of it, and sometimes I haven't been able to. Well, game 1 I really didn't. Game 2 I did a better job of it, and hopefully going forward I'll be at least close to on target to where we need to be.
It might really small sample size, but in both these games to start the season, a pretty significant run by your opponents happened. Both those times, it seemed like you weren't too eager to use your timeouts or take the timeouts right away. In the past, a couple years ago, I know you were known for kind of quick timeouts. How much or what specifically are you looking for from the leaders on the floor in those moments? And is this to challenge them to kind of correct things on the floor without having to use those timeouts?
Yeah, I don't remember if there was a big run in the Minnesota game. There could be on that
20-7.
in the third. Okay, I don't remember that situation. But for the Lakers, I was told I was down one timeout going in the 4th, and so I kept scoreboard watching, and I always felt the separation wasn't big enough to where we couldn't get back in the game. And so in order to get back, once we got back in the game, I thought I would probably need both timeouts in the last 2 minutes. And so I tried to hold on to them both as much as I could. There was an opportunity for me, Coleman, going back and watching the film, but it's tough, Matt. I still flip a coin. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I should have took a timeout. Sometimes I'm like, I need to hold on to it because we used them both down the stretch, and we did something else we shouldn't have done down the stretch, which helped us lose the game, I guess. But it was mainly because I was down 1 going in the fourth, and I scoreboard watching, I felt we'd get back into it. Just roll the dice in that regard.
Coach Brown, that game against the Lakers in the third quarter, the team came out, they were getting steals, they were getting deflections, and most of that was created by the guards. I think you have 19 steals in the last 2 games. I just want to get your feel how your thoughts about your defense and how it's playing right now, and to keep getting that type of production in the third quarter.
We're doing some good things defensively. We still have to be better than what we are. Our activity was pretty good. Our deflections were pretty good. Our shifts weren't great all the time, and they had 60 points in the paint. And we can keep a team at 40. That's not necessarily the number. 40 points in the paint would be great. But to give up 60 points in the paint against that team is tough, especially when they're getting to the free throw line 25, 26 times. But the biggest part that defensively in that game that I didn't like was our ability to box out. We did not do a great job keeping them off the offensive glass. On the flip side, we pride ourselves in how hard we crash. And we only had 5 offensive rebounds. And you look at the Lakers, and Austin Reeves alone had 4. And in a 1 possession ball game, that can really hurt you. And we paid the price for it because we didn't box out. Again, our shifts can be better. But other than that, I thought, like you said, there were some good moments during the game, and we got to keep stacking those moments and trying to pay attention to the small details, like boxing out, like shifting, at a very high level, continuing to be active to possibly get deflections, and then making sure that our low man is active. Our low man wasn't always good too in that game. When it came to them driving the basketball. So neat part about it is a lot of room to improve, and while still doing some pretty good things, but it wasn't as good as we hoped to play on that side of the ball.
Hey Mike, 2 quick ones real quick, because the first one's very silly. Just favorite Halloween costume growing up?
Well, I got a favorite one now. My grandson is Nacho Libre. Yeah, I wish you could see like that. I tell you what, he is. I just saw him too, and oh man, it was the cutest thing ever. I was not. I really wasn't gonna come in here, but let me see if I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys see it? That's him right here. He's got the little. He's got the gut. I think he's got the gut from my son Elijah. He hides it really well. Elijah's got a little gut. I think my grandson got it from him. And man, he's the cutest little thing. So Nacho Libre.
What was yours?
That's a good question. I was like I like the superhero stuff, and then also I was a big Dungeons and Dragons kid growing up in middle school, and so I loved the knights and those type of things, dragons and all that.
Perfect. And just back to the kind of the minute distribution, I'm curious for you, when you kind of go into a game and you've got, hey, I got to be able to do this, but obviously things are situational. Do you find yourself in the moment constantly changing maybe what plan you might have set forth for yourself?
Yeah, yes, you always go in with a rough draft of what you want to do, and You know, there's, with Jordy and Dutch and Dee Dee leaving, you know, new guys are taking their spots in a lot of different ways, from Luke to the defense coordinator. Jordy also helped me with the minute sheet, so Luke's helping with that, but Luke is new at the defensive coordinator position, so I gotta have other guys also help me with the minute sheet in case I'm into the game and coaching and not paying attention to when subs should be coming in and out. So there's some things that we're getting used to when it comes to trying to make sure that the rotations are on point, and that's a little bit of you know, what we got going on too.
Mike, just about Portland, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Had an interesting series with New Orleans, and obviously this is a team that's young that, you know, struggled last season. I'm curious what your early thoughts are on them here in the season.
Obviously extremely long. I mean, adding the big fella from UConn Cleveland has made them even bigger than what they were. And, you know, they have a nice mix of veterans, guys that are still in their prime, with young guys. And then they have some very, very athletic, long wings that can help pressure the ball. And, you know, when I was in San Antonio way back in the day, and we had Tim Duncan and David Robinson, we actually started Danny Ferry at the small forward spot. And we were able to do that and we were able to tell Danny Ferry to press up in the, you know, a lot of young athletic wings at the time. But we told Danny Ferry every time, press up into him, because he'd funnel right to one of those 7-footers on the backside. And so having Ayton and Klingon there at all times makes it tough. It also gives your perimeter guys more confidence to be able to press up into the ball. And so they're playing extremely hard, extremely physical on the defense end of the floor. And you got to give Chauncey credit. By the way, congratulations again, Chauncey, for your Hall of Fame induction. But you got to give Chauncey and the GM there a lot of credit for assembling that team, because they have length, they have athleticism, they have size, they got guys who go get off the dribble and all that. They just got to figure out how they can mesh it all together.
And Mike, how much can you pull from your preseason matchup against them? Because they, you know, they came in here, had some success. How much can you pull from that?
You pull a lot. And like I said, you know, their ability to get up in us bothered us some, and you know, we turned the ball over. There were times though too that we just literally threw it away, you know, and I don't know if it was a 3 o'clock game, 3 o'clock preseason game, you know, but we'll find out tonight if their pressure is going to bother us like it did in the preseason. And then, you know, we got to make sure that when we touch that paint, if Ayton or Klingon's there, that we know how to spray the basketball. We did a fantastic job. We had some really, really good offensive moments against the Lakers, even though I still think we can shoot it better and play a little bit better offensively. But we had over 20 sprays, I think, in that game, and that's our target. And so we're going to have to spray the ball tonight and knock down some shots because of the length that they have behind their perimeter guys. Thank y'all.